Hello, and thank you for watching this brief presentation about online teaching and piano teaching in particular. Last year, when Southern Utah University moved to online teaching due to the pandemic, I was in a fortunate situation because I had already been interested in audio technology and digital photography, at least to a certain extent. However, one of the challenges that I was facing was that my students oftentimes did not realize how important it was to have the appropriate equipment and settings on their end. One time I shared a Zoom recording with a student and she was shocked about the audio quality she was sending my way. After all, what she was receiving from me was pretty decent. Later on in the video you will see a short clip of an excerpt recorded on an iPad using a spotty Wi-Fi connection. And I think all of us have tried to teach a lesson in that format or with that audio quality, and I hope that we will never ever have to do that again. In this presentation I will compare different audio settings and audio setups. Everything is recorded in Zoom. That seems to have become the most standard platform, but every other platform works in a similar way. The audio quality is unedited, just to give you a head-to-head comparison, and it's not meant to give you a perfect setup or whatnot. The idea behind this presentation is to help develop a feel for the different settings and the different setups, so that you can figure out what's best for you. I will also compare some video setups and introduce you to a very powerful and free program called OBS, or Open Broadcaster software. I do believe that online teaching will stick around after the pandemic. I sincerely hope that the pandemic will be done pretty soon and we can teach online out of choice and not necessity, but there are cases where I think it will have its place. For example, remote students, or in case of sickness or whatnot. I hope you enjoy this presentation. I hope that it will give you some ideas. And please don't hesitate to ask if you have any questions. Please subscribe to our channel. We will be releasing a few more videos this spring, and enjoy the video. I have to apologize in advance that you will have to hear the same musical excerpt numerous times, but I think that's the most effective way of comparing the different audio settings on Zoom. I also apologize for probably a shaky webcam. I have it sitting on the piano, and later on we may discover some better settings. The first setting that I'll be using is original sound turned off, and I have automatically adjust microphone volume checked. And this is the microphone that is built in to the laptop. I have now unchecked automatically adjust microphone volume, and I still have original sound turned off. This time I have original sound turned on. This time I'm using an iPad. For this next run, I'm using a Samsung Meteor USB microphone, and I have original sound turned off. This time I have original sound turned on. We have already encountered some of the shortcomings of using the built-in webcam of the laptop and also the built-in microphone. In this setup, I am using an external webcam and also the microphone of that webcam. The advantage of this setup is that you probably, hopefully, won't be hearing the computer fan noise. And I can also type on the keyboard without having any shaky video whatsoever. Finally, an advantage is that I can move the camera to wherever I would like. That means I could potentially have different tripods or stands or not different positions for this webcam, and it's pretty flexible. Something that is also easy to do using this setup is to dial in with, for example, an iPad and share the screen of videos, or in my case, I'm going to demonstrate sharing Fourscore in my Zoom session. Now the student should be able to see Fourscore, and I can make annotations or point out certain spots. For example, this 2 against 3, and we can discuss it, and I can also demonstrate. I have everything right here with me. Some of you may already have a camcorder or a DSLR, and it is pretty easy these days to connect to the computer using a video capture device. I have one right here. This one is a Cam Link. There are also cheaper alternatives, and it plugs into the USB port. I'm also using an external microphone that I attached to the camcorder, and that should give me a pretty good setup and a better picture quality than a webcam. And I'll play a little bit of that too, so you can get a comparison. This was with original sound turned off. And now the same example, as so often already, with original sound turned on. Finally, I wanted to give you a little taste of what is possible. And I'm pretty sure if you have a gamer somewhere in the family or in the neighborhood, they could tell you much more about it. In this setup, you can see that I have 3 different cameras set up. I have a camcorder to my left. I have an overhead camera to show finger movements. And then I'm talking into the built-in laptop camera. I also have 2 audio setups. I'm right now talking into the microphone that's plugged into the camcorder. It's a little bit far away for my speaking voice, so you may hear some background noise, but I just wanted to show you the possibilities. And the others are the stereo microphones that are coming in through the audio interface. And I'll play something really quick, and maybe you can, hopefully you can detect the differences. So here is some piano playing using the camcorder's mic. You can also see our logo of the Southern Utah Piano Pedagogy Conference up in the corner, and all of that is possible through a quite amazing program called OBS, or Open Broadcaster Software. Oftentimes with open source software you find glitches and it doesn't work very well because it's free and you don't have support, but with OBS I have not encountered any glitches whatsoever. It's a really powerful program and it's fairly easy to use. And in a second we'll kind of walk through how we're setting all of this up. Just as a kind of, I don't know, heads up or whatnot, I'm mixing some more expensive equipment here with some that is very reasonable. You can see my overhead mic stand here is just a cardboard box. I also have the webcam. I think those are fairly reasonable now. OBS is of course a free program. Then most of us do have a laptop, and you can see the camera I'm talking into is not too bad if the lighting is not too bad. Most of us, or a lot of us, have a camcorder or a DSLR, and there are video capturing devices that are pretty cheap these days. What I'm using is a Cam Link, and you can see it in the camera on the lower left. This is one of the more expensive ones, but it seems like cheaper ones that are starting at $20 to $30 do the job just fine. I hope that gives you a few ideas. I had to do a little workaround to get the audio into Zoom, with which I'm recording right now, but that is also something that is easily doable. Again, I'm not trying to give you step-by-step instructions to set any of that up, but just some ideas to know what's possible today, which is quite amazing. Alright, this is how OBS looks like. I already set a few things up, so you can see my laptop webcam in the lower right, and I'm also doing a screen recording. That's why we kind of have this weird, picture-in-picture effect. But I just wanted to give you an idea of how this program works and the many possibilities that it has. For one, just to add a logo to your lessons, I think just makes a different impression. Or if you're interviewing a future student, a prospective student, I think that can go a long way. It's pretty intuitive. And I'll show you how to set up a few of the things that I was doing. Under sources, I can add whatever I like to add to a scene. You can see I have my webcam, which is now highlighted in blue. I have the display capture, which means it's the screen. And then I have the audio from the laptop, which you can see moving here. Let's say I would like to add another webcam, like the overhead camera that you saw in the previous segment. All I need to do is go on plus in terms of sources. I'm adding a video capture device. I already had it set up before, so I can choose overhead. And the keyboard appears, and I can drag it and make it smaller. And here's my overhead camera. Next, I would like to add yet another angle from my left using the camcorder that you also saw in the previous segment. To do that, I go under Sources, click plus. I'm going to add a video capture device. I'm just going to specify a new one. It should give me a list of the connected devices. This one is CamLink. And there it is. Let's say I would like to add my logo. I can do that as well. I'm going to choose an existing one since I did it for the previous segment. And there are different ways of resizing them. I'm sure I'm not doing this the most efficient way, but it works. What is really nifty in this program is that you can program certain hotkeys. That means you press a button on the laptop and you can switch from one scene to another one. You can, display a browser window or a YouTube video, or if you use annotation software, you can throw that in. It's really one of the most versatile programs that I've seen, and it is worth checking out. So I hope that gave you a little bit of an overview over some of the issues of both audio and video quality with streaming, and maybe gave you some ideas of different setups. I tried to use quite a few different ones, and I hope this is helpful. Please don't hesitate to ask if you have any questions, and of course subscribe to our channel. We're going to be releasing more piano pedagogy related videos, and see you next time.